Thank you for listening. Go to part 3. This is now part 3. Welcome to part 3, and sorry to everybody who's listening on Facebook and Twitter. Carry on the review. H.
Fantastic. So we have a cut to now the origin story of Gamora and Thanos' unofficial adoption. So basically have wiped out your half of your family and people, so you're officially, I adopt you. Ta-da. But he does love her. It's that real love-hate relationship, and you see that.
Isn't this where he gives her the knife as well?
Yeah, and you see the knife and the understanding. So this good. It's a good setup. It's more than what we needed. We did not need a film for it, so I'm really happy. That's all I needed. It's a good. That's really good. Then that is technically, that's Gamora thinking that, and it's her flashback, which then leads her to a very emotional promise that she asks Quill, you promise me if Thanos captures me or tries to take me, you have to promise on your mother's life, you have to kill me. There's a bit of banter in there, yeah. But it's real. It's
the reason for it is because she knows something.
She knows something. She knows everything. And what she did definitely know is Drax does not have the power to be invisible.
Brilliant scene. I'm taking this. Okay, so there's this really, really highly emotionally charged scene. Both actors are chewing the scenery in this, doing a really good job of it. I really like it. Really enjoyable. And then Drax is eating some crisps or something, and he just appears out of nowhere, and he's been standing there for an hour, and he believes he's invisible. Dave Bautista, former wrestler, I've liked him for a long time.
Big Dave.
He's brilliant. He's so funny, and yeah, the rest of the cast play into it brilliantly. I just really wanted to mention this scene because it's just funny.
It's just funny. I have been stood here for over so many hours.
I'm pretty sure I'm invisible.
No, we can see you. You're eating. Oh, it's brilliant. If I was allowed to, I'd play you the clip, but I'm not. So after that little moment, we then click to, I think we go to nowhere now. I think they click straight to nowhere. Poor Quill was trying to make a plan, go right or go left and do this and do that. Don't really happen. So it all kind of looks okay. Thanos is there standing over the Collector. He mumbles a line. I can't remember this actor's name. He's got a really good name. What's his name?
He's the guy I think looks like Brad Pitt, but nobody else does. I was convinced
it's a chap
it was
from
Brad
Snatch.
Pitt. Yeah.
He was in Snatch, and he was trying to look for the diamonds then.
Yeah.
And basically he says in Snatch, where is the diamond? Because he's like got a funny accent in that. And what's really funny is Thanos leans over him on the floor and goes, where's the diamond? And if you don't really know your movies, you won't get it. But I got that straight away. That it was in
del Toro.
That's it. Well done. Thank you very much. So yeah, our lovely Thanos actually says it in a mumbly tone. Again, this is like a little third wall kind of, oh, I like it, it's gritty. So that happens. So yeah, he's there going, where's the reality stone, where it's all happening. Gamora just runs at him, gets her blooming sword and thrushes it through his neck, and then she gets her lovely little dagger that he gave her, which is really, really lovely and father figure-ish, stabs it through her heart. She then, massive anguish, starts crying.
A lot of blood as well for a Marvel film. Blood.
There's a lot of blood, a lot of Thanos blood. And then suddenly he's like, I see sadness in you, daughter. That's my Thanos. How do you like that?
It's very good.
Oh, thank you. And and then reality shifts, and now you see it for what it really is. And Nowhere is actually on fire. He's already got the reality stone. It's too late from that perspective. So Mantis and Drax try and have a go, and he makes them go. He shreds them,
turns them into weird cubes.
Yeah, in cubes, and shreds them. They try and shoot at him, and he turns all their bubble guns to bubbles. He then grabs Gamora and says, "I'm taking you," and she obviously has to ask Quill, "Do it," and he's like, "No, we won't do it." And fair play to Quill, he actually tries. He does actually say, "I love you" and all that going on, and he does try and shoot her, but again, bubbles again. I'm just mentioning it, but there's an obsession with bubbles. I have a little theory why, but we'll go along with that later. So he takes Gamora. Now we go from that take-in scene. Now it's so much jumping now. So now we're jumping over back to Captain America and the crew. We've just ran over and go catch up with War Machine, who's chatting to the general and saying okay, you've got a court martial guys, blah blah blah. Vision obviously is really hurt. they are really working out the fact that we need to get this, we need to get him fixed, and we need to get the stone out of him and get it safe, or destroy the stone. But obviously if they destroy the stone from where it is, they'll destroy Vision. So obviously, where do we go? Cue the drums.
I'm not going to do the accent. But yeah.
Off we go to Wakanda. It's beautiful. We see a lot more of Wakanda in this actual scene. When we fly over Wakanda, we see a lot more of the city. We see it on a more scale than you do in Black Panther, just saying. But yeah, so that's quite funny as well. So we go to Wakanda, it's all happening. They wind up Banner and say, like, yeah, you should definitely bat. What are you doing? We don't do that here. And then it's just funny. There's a lot of bans. Give this man a shield. You know, it's all happening, you know, because then he gets a shield. But it's still not a proper shield. It's not the shield.
No,
it really annoys me.
But it is made of the same stuff.
It's still made of the same stuff. We see Captain America's buddy...
Bucky.
Bucky turns up. He's being called White. I think he's called White. I can't remember now. White Wolf or White Devil or something in this. And that's yeah, that's actually another complete character in the comic book world. Okay. But that's fine. It's another nod. So maybe they're using that, or maybe they're just taking the piss out of him.
Every day's a school day with this. I'm learning something
he's learning
few
today.
seconds.
So yeah, so that's quite nice. That's another little nod from the actual comic book era. While we're in Wakanda, or what I think actually it's backstory with the War Machine and having the catch up, we then have good old Black Widow mentions the Ant-Man, because it gets brought up, like where is he? And we just get told, which is a bit of annoying because they don't follow this up very well with Ant-Man 2, but we just get told, oh, he's on house arrest, and that's that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get in terms of they do explain it in Ant-Man, but again, you didn't even remember why he was house arrest when we were watching the film.
Yeah, I was like, what?
So I'm guessing it's they didn't explain it well enough in the film. I probably would say, but yeah, that's okay.
And they were all still from Infinity War. The way they explained it, they were all still friendly, but then in Ant-Man, they all hate Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
why would you hate him?
Well, also,
funny.
Which is a bit weird. The end of the world. And you can't go because you're under house arrest. Surely, of all of the times you're going to break the law, this is the one you would... But we
won't go there.
Yeah.
So that's another one for the list later. So we have a brief little, like, where's Ant-Man? And we also have a where's Hawkeye? And it was all to do with his family, and he wanted to be with his family because it was causing too much pain. So it was a good nod because you needed to say it, because I was already like, where is everybody? So that was very good. So that'd do, basically. So then we go back again. And we're now back on the ship. So basically, at the end of the big scene with Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange is then kidnapped. He's like wielded, isn't he? He's kidnapped and he's taken onto the Black Order's it looks like a donut spaceship, which looks freakishly like the ship from the prequel Alien films that have come out, like Prometheus.
Yeah.
Which is then really hilarious because they use a line and a plan from Alien to defeat. They call him. What do they call him? Squidward, which I think is really funny. He's fantastic on this. I need to get his real name because he actually looks like Voldemort in real life. Which is even funnier. Like, you take all the makeup off of this chap and he actually still looks like what's it? Oh, help me out. But yeah, so he's been captured, obviously because they want the stone, but he's put a curse on the stone so they can't take it off him. So Tony goes up in the spaceship too, whacks Spider-Man's also up there attached, he can't breathe. He whacks on a suit and says, like, happy trails kids, and opens the parachute, which is a line from Die Hard. Happy trails, Hans. So that's a really good pop culture reference. And I'm like, oh, they're brilliant in this. It's so clever how they do it. Then they get on the ship, they need to come up with a plan, and they use Alien when they open the side of the ship and use the Force to suck him out.
Not the Force from Star Wars.
No.
The G-Force
the G-Force from outside. You got him.
Yeah, his name is Tom Vaughan Lawler.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, thank you. So they take our chappy Tom out, and what's hilarious is when he comes out, he even makes the face that Alien made. Like, he's like that dishevelled, which is brilliant. So now they're all stuck on the ship, mind. They're just too far away from home. So they have to head to Titan. And now they have to yeah, they have no choice.
Well,
so
they make a choice, actually.
They make that choice, don't
Because
they?
they want to try and turn round originally, and then Stark makes the point of we'd rather fight him on his own turf rather than taking this war to Earth.
Yeah, don't take this to Earth. And it's a bit of like, oh my god, you're gonna take the stone to him. It's like, well, no, but look at the chaos, that it's caused. So yeah, so they get like they then get kind of like that's all going on, and then we're back on Thanos' own ship. He's torturing Nebula, so she's in like a million pieces suspended, and he uses that to leverage Gamora, to tell her, you need to tell me, like, I know, and you don't know that I know that you know. I'm going to start that now, where the Soul Stone is, and so they use their kind of real love-hate sister bond, and sadly it works. So she just decides that, I know where the Soul Stone is, and I'll guide you to Vormir to go get it. Crikey. So then this now is a massive jump. We're now jumping to catch up with Rocket and Thor and Groot. So, Thor can talk Groot, which is lovely. So that just makes life easier.
We learned it in school, which is a hilarious line.
Yeah, I learned in school. What was it? It was one of his. He could choose it.
Yeah,
it was one of his options. We'd all do French, maybe even Spanish. He learns Groot.
He learns Grootish.
Fantastic. So they're in Nadvillier. I know a lot of nerds out there are going to really get upset with my lack of being able to say these planets. But yeah, so they have to meet up with Eitri, which is good old Peter Dinklage.
I love him. Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. So
Playing a giant.
He plays a giant dwarf.
Brilliant.
He's basically Pete playing Pete, which is really difficult, but we'll go there in a minute. So
sorry to cut you off.
Go on.
Peter Dinklage is one of the best worst actors ever. He's not in terms of acting, his accent is dreadful. In Game of Thrones he does pretty much a similar voice, but he doesn't do it deep. In this he does this weird kind of, I'm going to be a giant dwarf voice. In Game of Thrones he just does a normal British voice, and it doesn't sound great, but it sounds a bit better than this. But he's Peter Dinklage, so I'll let him get away with it.
Yeah, he's allowed to get away with murdering a great part of the film. So we then find out that he wielded the gauntlet that Thanos is wearing. So he's able to wield all of the stones, because as we all know, the stones are massively powerful, and nobody has the power or the strength to wield them all without something, and that's what he's done. Sadly, good old Thanos doesn't want anybody to be... He knows damn well that he could wield something to defeat him, or vice versa, and all the rest of it. So he decides to kill everybody else and also melt or burn his hands. So we can't do anything. And the star is dead as well. So the star that heats the metal, like in his funny voice. So now we've got to sort that out. There's another venture. And thank God we've got Thor, who's a god, who can sort it out. Now, all that's going on. We're learning all of this. We then cut back to Titan. They've crash landed on Titan. So Stark, Spidey and Strange, all the S's, have crash landed on Titan. In comes the Guardians. What's left of the Guardians, they all have a bit of a fight because they all think they're obviously against each other. They then find out that they're all there for the same reason, which is to catch Thanos. And they, with a lot of banter, this is like hilarious, but they all come up with a plan. While they're coming up with a plan though, what does Doctor Strange do?
He is going back in time, not back in time, he's checking through all the possibilities. How many is there? 14 million... something. I can't remember.
14,605,000.
A bit lazy, could have done more. To see how many different outcomes there would be of Thanos basically being defeated, and he says there is only one way that they will defeat them, which becomes very important in the end of this. Well, I think in the next film, but we'll carry on.
Then we cut to Valmir. So we're treading through a beautifully snowy planet. Nice father-daughter day out. So Thanos and Gamora come across the keeper of the Soul Stone. Fantastic moment in theatre.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off again. That was the end of part 3.